Hey, what's happening, DC Gamers? Me, the Guy01, and welcome to this week's first episode on the Walkthrough channel. This week, it's Mysterio versus Mysterio, as Dominik Mysterio battles his father, Rey Mysterio. We got lots of stuff to talk about, so I'm going to jump right in right away. First thing we have to talk about is birthdays, of course. It was Dominik Mysterio's birthday, April 5th, he turned 26. And then it was Charlotte Flair's birthday, same day, April 5th. She turned 37. We had the passing of Bushwhacker Butch on April 2nd. He was 78. So rest in peace, Bushwhacker Butch. And before we get into WrestleMania and Raw and SmackDown, which again there's a lot of stuff to talk about, before we get to any of that, is the news that's been taking over the wrestling world for the past week. Not just the wrestling world, but the entire sports world. And that was the announcement that came out either Saturday morning or early Monday morning, that WWE has officially been sold, and the company that bought it was the UFC parent company, Endeavor, who plans to merge the UFC and WWE into a singular organization. That news broke the internet. I mean, everyone was going nuts over that. And the reason so many people were going crazy over it is because of what was announced after the deal was confirmed. That the main thing being that Vince McMahon would be put back in charge of the WWE portion of the new company, basically, the new organization. At least the WWE portion of it. So basically, Dana White would still be the acting president of the... It's basically Vince is now Dana White for WWE, where, you know, he technically doesn't own it anymore, but he's like the president of it. That's basically what's going on now. It was also announced that Vince is now basically the top of the head of creative, even though Triple H is still in charge of creative. Everything has to go through Vince, and Vince gets to finalize everything, which people are not happy about. And part of that is you can see reflected in the fact that WrestleMania 39 broke several records, including records for attendance, records for revenue, like pay-per-view buys, the most amount of time, like watch time on social media, the most social media coverage. Like, it broke several records. And is one of the most successful WWE events of all time now. And I think a lot of that was because of the fans' I think that, more than anything, shows that WWE is, or at least was, entering a new stage. I mean, so many people, I've seen so many things from people saying that they came back to WWE after Triple H took over and are so happy with the changes he's made, and they love WWE again because Triple H is in charge. And I think WrestleMania 39's success reflected that. An interesting note about WrestleMania 9, it has been confirmed that Vince McMahon was put back in control before WrestleMania Night 2 took place. And people have pointed out that it feels like WrestleMania 1, or WrestleMania Night 1, was booked by Triple H, and then Night 2 was booked by Vince. And we'll get into that soon. So now that we've covered that, let's get into WrestleMania 39. So beginning with Night 1, the Street Profits won the men's showcase, beating 3 other tag teams. Pat McAfee made his return into the ring, beating The Miz in a fun squash match at the beginning of the show. Austin Theory beat John Cena to retain the US title. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus beat Damage Control. Seth Rollins beat Logan Paul. Rey Mysterio beat Dominik Mysterio. So we have to rectify that. Um, Rhea Ripley beat Charlotte Flair to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, to probably the best women's match across all of WrestleMania, across both nights. And in the main event, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens beat the Usos to become the new undisputed tag team champions, ending the Usos' record-setting reign. And probably the feel-good moment of the night, or not just the night, of all of WrestleMania. That brings us to night 2, and this is the one where people were initially not the most happy with before, but then after it came out that Vince was most likely in control of it, people hated it a lot more. So going into night 2, Brock Lesnar beat Omos. Shane McMahon made a return, and it can be assumed the plan was that he would come out and beat The Miz, similar to what Pat McAfee did. Basically, Snoop Dogg was out in the ring with The Miz and announced that Miz would be having a match. Then Shane McMahon came out and injured himself. It's not confirmed what it was, but it looks like something involving his knees. It's not clear if he blew out one or both of his knees, but yeah, whatever happened, they weren't able to finish. So the plan had to be thrown out the window, and thankfully Snoop Dogg was there because he improvised and ended up hitting a people's elbow, the weirdest looking people's elbow I've ever seen on The Miz, and getting the pin himself in order to end the segment. I mean, he lays out The Miz with a single punch, and then he does the slowest, like, I've never seen someone run with zero momentum. Like, it was weird. But it was a fun moment, and you know, credit to Snoop Dogg for knowing he had to do something in order to cover for Shane. So that whole segment was kind of a disaster, but I think it worked out in the end. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler won the women's showcase match, being 3 other women's tag teams. Aha. Edge beat Finn Balor, Demon Finn Balor, in Hell in a Cell. Gunther beat Sheamus and Drew McIntyre to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Bianca Belair beat Asuka to retain the Raw Women's title. In the main event of the night, Roman Reigns faced Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Universal Championship. The Usos ran in near the end of the match, and then were taken out by Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who made a run-in of their own. But this distraction allowed Solo Sikoa, who was banned from ringside, to come in and take out Cody, which set up Reigns to get the win and retain the title. This was the big one. This is the thing that the fans were most upset about. And when it came out that Vince had actually had some creative power going into WrestleMania Night 2, this was the main example that people pointed to kind of show, like, yep, Vince is definitely back in control. And the big problem with Reigns retaining here is that you've basically ruined the rest of his reign leading up to the next WrestleMania. I mean, at this point, Reigns is, like, his title reign is so, you know, it's such a big deal now that you know he's not going to lose the title at any other event other than WrestleMania. This takes the drama and, like, unpredictability of all his title defenses until then basically ruined, because you know he's not going to drop it at Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania Backlash. You know they're going to save it for Mania, which means that it's all but confirmed that he's going to hold it for over 1,000 days. Which will make it the longest title reign of 30, 40 years. And another problem that comes from this is now you have no other challenger for Reigns. I mean, he's beaten every single main eventer in WWE, some of them twice, throughout this title reign. I saw a thing recently that said that Reigns has beaten the last 3 Royal Rumble winners in the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, you've had Edge, you'd have Brock Lesnar, you've had Cody Rhodes. I mean, there's really no, like, main event level people left that Reigns hasn't already beaten before to retain the title. I mean, and they had the perfect story going into WrestleMania. I mean, they finally had someone who not only seemed like a genuine threat to Reigns, but someone that the fans could buy as the person to dethrone him, and also buy as the face of the company and as a world champion in Cody Rhodes. Now there's really no one left that can do that without it feeling forced. I mean, it had been building naturally for arguably a year since Cody returned at last year's WrestleMania. I mean, from the very point he returned there, I mean, he seemed to be the perfect replacement, or the perfect person to dethrone Reigns. Getting my words all mixed up. And now that's kind of gone, and now you have no one left who is credible enough without it feeling forced to be the one to dethrone Reigns. So, yeah, that's the big thing that people are complaining about coming out of WrestleMania. The fact that Reigns retained again, and now basically no one cares about his reign until WrestleMania, which is a problem. And for a lot of people, it definitely did end WrestleMania on a sour note, and a very missed opportunity to basically get the biggest reaction probably of the night. Ooh. Alright, moving on to Raw. Raw began with Triple H coming out, announcing that the WWE is not going anywhere and that they're here to stay, obviously referring to being purchased by Endeavor. He then called out Roman Reigns in order to congratulate him on retaining the title. This then brought out Cody Rhodes, who challenged Reigns to a match. Reigns, of course, refused. Cody insisted on doing any kind of match, even if it was a tag match, just so he could get his hands on Reigns again. Reigns accepted on 2 conditions. One, Cody's partner had to be someone who had wrestled the night before at WrestleMania, and the person who Cody picks for his partner will never get a title shot against Reigns. So that's a pretty big deal, that whoever decides to team with Cody is never going to get a title shot against Reigns. That's a big deal. And who came out? The Beast Brock Lesnar. There's a partner for you. So Lesnar came out, stood with Cody, and agreed to be his partner for the main event that night, which was the most hyped match of the night. Omos beat Elias. Didn't really feel like a good way to open up the show. I mean, it was literally a squash match. And, you know, for a guy who just lost at WrestleMania, it doesn't really make sense to put him as the winner of a squash match like that. Especially since someone like Elias could really benefit from a big win, since they haven't really been doing anything with him recently. No. Ow. I'm out. No, leave me alone. I'm crawling away. Ow. Hang on, I don't want to get beat here. Ow. Oh, no, you don't. Aha. Alright, moving on to Raw. Or continuing with Raw. Austin Theory beat Rey Mysterio. Um, Afterwards, Dominik attacked Ray. This then led to Bad Bunny laying Dominik out with a punch, which led to Damian Priest beating up Bad Bunny. This seems to be leading to a tag match at WrestleMania Backlash, which I'm fine with. Although I kind of wish the whole... I'm worried about the whole Mysterio storyline running out of steam now. I mean, Mania was the perfect blow-off, I feel like. Although I wish they would have done something like make it Ray's retirement match or something. Like the night after he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, he has a high-profile match at WrestleMania, and then he retires. I mean, that seems like a perfect story, at least to me, kind of, or not perfect, but you know, good story. Now you're kind of left with, okay, now when is he going to retire? He's already in the Hall of Fame, so you know he's not going to be involved in any title feuds for a while, or most likely won't be. Oh, I lost where I was. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens beat the Street Profits in a non-title match, which, you know, given that the Street Profits won their showcase match, you'd think that would make them #1 contenders. But apparently not, or if it did, I guess the #1 contenders just lost to the champions in a non-title match. So, not really a great way to build up momentum. Bobby Lashley beat Mustafa Ali. Speaking of Bobby Lashley, one of the rumors that came out after WrestleMania was that on night 2, Bobby Lashley was actually supposed to have a in-ring segment with LA Knight, the man he beat to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The last guy he eliminated, at least. But apparently that idea got scrapped as soon as Vince McMahon got involved and basically started changing a bunch of stuff in creative. And like I said before, it hasn't been confirmed on if Vince actually did change the outcomes of the matches on WrestleMania, or if Reigns beating Cody was always the plan. It doesn't seem like it, given the build-up, and, you know, Triple H seems like the guy who would have been very much behind Cody beating Reigns, whereas Vince would seem like the one to be very much for Reigns retaining again. Oh, gee. Well. Dang it, Ray, you're so short I dove right over you. Alright, I gotta wrap this up. This is most likely going to be a long video. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez beat Dakota Kai and Io Sky to get a shot at the women's tag team titles. Once again, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler won the women's showcase. You'd think that would mean that they were the new #1 contenders. So the fact that WWE had to sub new #1 contenders and used a team that was in that showcase who lost, kind of weird. So that has people wondering if either Ronda or Shayna are out with an injury from WrestleMania, and that a replacement had to be filled, which makes sense. Hi, Dad. Oh, God. No. Oh, this isn't good. Oh, here we go. 3 amigos. Alright. Matt Riddle made his return to WWE and took out The Miz to a basically pretty average reaction. No one really, wasn't really that big of a deal, wasn't really hyped up at all, or didn't really come across as that shocking. don't know, there's just something about it that it didn't come across as big a deal as they probably thought it would have, or you would think it would. And then we got to the main event. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns with Solo Sikoa, with a stipulation of Brock Lesnar never being able to get a title shot by teaming up with Cody. Before the match could even start, Brock Lesnar grabbed Cody Rhodes and hit him with 2 F5s before beating him all around the ring, the announce table, the barricade, dropping him on the steel steps, and completely destroying him. The show then closed with Brock Lesnar walking off and flipping off the crowd. Thanks, WWE. Yep, Vince is definitely back in control. Oh yeah, people were not happy about that. It's kind of hard to tell in the moment, like, if the crowd was more upset with Brock turning heel, or if they were with basically this giant main event being thrown away just to see Cody get beat up. Basically for no payoff whatsoever. People were, yeah, so people definitely weren't happy with that. And it was actually confirmed recently that Vince was very heavily involved with the creative on Raw, including completely scrapping certain segments and changing the endings of certain matches and segments as well. And one of the things that people are most pointing at the most for something that seems like to be been completely Vince's idea was the whole main event. Unless they're trying to build Brock versus Roman for the 8th time. But, you know, like they said with the stipulation, Brock isn't able to challenge for the title shot anymore, so they're not building to a match, it doesn't feel like. Unless they're building up to a feud between Cody and Brock, which that would be fine, but again, it doesn't feel right for Cody to be out of the title picture all of a sudden. So what I think happened, I think this was actually the original plan, or at least somewhat. I think what the original plan was for Cody to win at WrestleMania. Become champion, and then next night on Raw, Brock Lesnar comes out to congratulate him and then attacks him. And then that's how we lead into the Brock Lesnar Cody Rhodes feud. Which would have worked much better, but because Cody didn't win and Reigns retained, now we just got Brock attacking Cody for no reason whatsoever. I think it would have been much better if they had let Cody win and then let him transition into this feud with Lesnar. They could have done it the same way, having Brock come out to congratulate Cody, maybe even agree to team up with him and then attack him. That makes sense. But nope, Brock's just being Brock, I guess. Beating up everyone. Alright, moving on to SmackDown. Not as much happened on SmackDown. The Brawling Brutes beat Imperium in a 6-man tag. Ricochet beat Ivar. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez beat Shotzi and Natalya. Again, trying to build up momentum since they're now the #1 contenders after losing at WrestleMania in a match to determine the next #1 contenders. Just make that clear. Triple H came out to make a huge announcement that WWE will be hosting a draft sometime in the near future, changing up the who's on which brands. Damian Priest and Dominik Mysterio beat Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Ow. And in the main event, Jey Uso beat Sami Zayn. Afterwards, Solo Sikoa and Jey continued to beat up on Zayn, leaving Matt Riddle to run down to make the save. The reason Riddle came down was because Owens was taken out earlier in the night and got his leg hurt. kayfabe-wise, I mean, he wasn't actually injured. At least, we don't think he is. Who knows? So yep, that was a pretty eventful 4 days for WWE. WrestleMania, the night after WrestleMania, the whole company got sold to the UFC's parent company. Yeah, so now that we've got that out of the way, we can wrap this match up. Ow. Oh, what's my other finisher? Okay. Oh, this isn't good. Oh no. I'm gonna lose here, aren't I? Dang it. Come on. Are you serious? Come on. Come on, I had him beat for the last like 10 minutes. Oh man, come on, Dominik was supposed to win. See, look at that, I got a 5-star rating out of there, come on. Oh, I hate it when that happens. That hurts, man. Come on, Dominik was supposed to avenge his WrestleMania loss, no. Ah, dang it. Well, I said to wrap this match up and Ray must have heard me. Alright, well, crap. Honestly, that's a perfect summary of WrestleMania. Such a great match, but then, yeah, the wrong person wins. Oh well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And make new videos all the time. Stay tuned for next week's Versus, and next week where we begin the John Cena Showcase. And let me know in the comments below what you thought of WrestleMania, the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania, and the whole WWE being sold thing. And we think about Vince McMahon being put back in charge of creative, even if it is not in like deep into it. The fact that he's at the head of it and decides what gets passed. Yeah, he's basically in control of creative. Nothing happens without Vince's approval now. So let me know what you think of that in the comments below. Guy01 and Rey Mysterio signing out. Dang it, Ray. Couldn't just let Dominik have his moment, could you? Alright. Bye, guys.